I think ZAT is a very interesting exam in itself. Decision making, that was the one section which I enjoyed the most in the entire ZAT paper. I think a personal interview is the most important part of ZAT selection.
Right.
I mean, as long as you're above the cutoff, it doesn't matter if you're 99 plus or if you're just 90. For example, some of the questions that were asked to me were purely situation based. Also, there was this one dialogue from my favorite movie, which is The Batman Begins, where Alfred and Batman are talking, and then Alfred tells Bruce Wayne, why do we fall sick? So that we can learn how to pick ourselves up. And I think that kept me going. So I used to go back, watch Batman, and come back and solve mocks again. So, yeah.
Hi, Siddharth. Welcome to interview series.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thanks.
First of all, congratulations on cracking the ZAT exam and making it to XLRI.
Oh, thank you so much. Still feels like a dream, so thanks.
Right. So firstly, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your education background, and then when you started your whole journey towards ZAT?
All right. So I am not an engineering student. I have done my BSc in Hospitality and Hotel Administration, and I graduated in 2017 from Institute of Hotel Management, Bangalore. And since then, I've been working for a luxury hotel brand. And last year, when pandemic hit, I thought this would be a great chance to upskill myself and then write out the pandemic wave in a top Indian B school, and then look for other opportunities as well, and not just limit myself to what I have learned in my undergrad. So that was the entire plan.
Okay.
So last year I had to actually come back home due to a personal emergency, and that's when I decided to take up. After it was all done, I thought I'll prepare for that, and that's when I came across CrackU, because the first thing when you come across when you Google previous year ZAT question papers is CrackU. Right. So and then they have everything listed right there, right? So that's how I came across CrackU, and then I started solving ZAT previous year papers and CAT previous year papers from there, and eventually I ended up buying the subscription for the mocks as well as the section tests.
Right, great. So firstly, can you tell us about how did you prepare for ZAT and what was your preparation strategy in each section of the exam?
All right. So I think ZAT is a very interesting exam in itself, because what happens is, so it gives you 3 hours, but then it also tells you that, hey, you have these 3 hours and then you can do whatever you want in this, as long as you clear the sectional cutoffs and as long as you clear the overall cutoff. So that part was very helpful to me, because that way I could play at my strengths. So what ZAT does, they have sectional cutoffs, but they do not have sectional time allotted to each section. So that's a very helpful part, because that way I was able to finish whatever I was good at, or I thought I was good at, in a limited amount of time. And then I could give the rest of my time to the sections where I knew I would be lagging behind, for example, quants and decision making. So that is why ZAT is a very interesting paper. And my entire strategy was to make sure that I am touching or crossing the sectional cutoffs first, and then try and maximize my score through the rest of the paper.
Right. So, okay, now let's talk about the decision making section. We know that is the deciding factor in ZAT exam. So can you tell us how did you prepare for the decision making section?
Honestly, I think that was the one section which I enjoyed the most in the entire ZAT paper. I took a lot of help from YouTube videos, especially Sayali ma'am had done a video on decision making, which I very clearly remember. It was around 48 minutes, and I still remember watching it thrice to make sure that I'm well versed with the decision making section. But also, I think a major part of it was also the fact that I had some work experience, and then somewhere or the other, you develop a decision making capability over there. So both of these combined, help from the mentors at CrackU as well as my work experience helped me sail through the decision making section.
Okay, so how many mocks did you give, and how many hours you spent on analyzing the mocks?
Okay, so I solved all the previous papers that were there on the CrackU website, as well as I took up a subscription for full-length mocks of ZAT, and I think they were 5. So all in all, I think I would have given around 25 mocks during my preparation, and this was all in December. Also, one thing that I did, which I think helped me, was the fact that I had my ZAT admit card, which was released earlier, and then I made sure that I give the ZAT exam, I give the mocks, at the same time when my ZAT exam was going to be. So, for example, if my ZAT exam was going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon, I made sure that I sit down and I solve the paper.
Okay.
I solved the mocks on that time.
Right.
Yeah. And then, once that was done, I used to spend around 5 to 6 hours analyzing my mocks and
Okay.
going through each and every question. And I mean, not just the questions which I had not been able to solve, but also the questions which I was able to solve, but it took me perhaps extra time, or to find out if there is if there's a better way to do these questions in a shorter time.
Okay, so during your preparation phase, was there any stages where you were so demotivated, maybe because of low mock scores or something like that? If yes, how did you handle that phase?
Okay, so that happens a lot more than you want it to happen.
Okay.
I still remember I have a diary kept in my my study rack there, which
Okay.
has all the scores. So I used to pen down all the scores, all the mock scores that I used to get,
Okay.
and then I also used to go back and compare them to the cutoff for that year. So that was something that is how I knew how to how well I'm performing in the mocks, not by just comparing myself to other test takers,
Right.
but also what the cutoff was. So yes, whenever you go below that cutoff for that year, I was extremely demotivated. But it's a good thing to have friends around. That was the most important thing, who keep pushing you, your family, etc. But then also there was this one dialogue from my favorite movie, which is
Okay.
The Batman Begins, where
Okay.
Alfred and Batman are talking, and then Alfred tells Bruce Wayne that why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn how to pick ourselves up. And I think that kept me going. And that is something which is still very close to me. The entire idea was to not give up.
Right.
So I used to go back, watch Batman, and come back and solve mocks again. So yes.
Great. So how is XAT different from CAT in terms of preparation?
In terms of preparation, XAT, this is my personal opinion. Yeah. So in my personal opinion, XAT tests you on application of the concepts that you had developed during your entire course of your schooling or your education.
Okay.
But CAT is and the CAT is different because they have sectional time limits, and XAT has no sectional time limits
Right.
apart from GK, as well as they have this extra section called decision making. So that's very interesting. Also, I remember coming out of my XAT exam hall and feeling that the world has ended. So because it has not gone so well at all, and I knew. Plus, last year the XAT was delayed. It was on 3rd of January. So I knew that I had 1 month to get it right, and I wanted to give it my all. So after a not so satisfactory performance in CAT, I decided to make sure that somehow I have to do this.
Right. Also, during the exam, can you tell us in what order did you attempt each section? Because there's no sectional time limit. So how can one come up with that right order to attempt?
All right. So this was again, a trick perhaps that I picked up from CrackU Mentors.
Okay.
The entire idea was to first clear all the sectional cutoffs. I mean, to solve at least 10 questions each in every section that XAT has to offer, apart
Okay.
from GK, and then come back and maximize your score in any of the sections that you think you can do great at. Also, one great thing that helped me that I picked up from CrackU videos was the fact that you don't have to get stuck on a question. For example, you might have in your head that you have to go and you have to do extremely well in verbal ability, but there might be there's a huge possibility that verbal ability, or any other section for that matter, is not as easy as you thought it would be, right? So you have to improvise at the same time, and then you have to make sure that you are maximizing your score in a section which you find easy on the exam day, and not a section which you find easy when you're solving mocks.
Right. Okay, so there's no specific order. It keeps changing depending on the difficulty.
It keeps changing. For example, when I was taking mocks, I used to solve verbal ability first, move on to decision making, and then you used to use the rest of my time to solve the quant section.
Right.
But when I saw the XAT paper last year, I was pretty sure that you have to finish the sectional cutoffs first. You have to clear the sectional cutoffs first. So I solved 10 questions of verbal ability. Then I moved on to decision making. I solved whatever I knew back then. Then I moved on to quants, and then I solved 10 questions, whichever I knew, whichever
Okay.
were easy, right? And then I moved back to verbal ability again. So that's what I did on the exam day, which was very different from how I used to solve mocks.
Great. So can you tell us how did you prepare for the personal interview and each stage of the interview process?
All right. So I still remember getting my XAT results and scheduling an interview for 25th of Feb.
Okay.
And I was super scared. But what I also did was, again, I took out my notebook and I literally wrote down everything that I had done during my work experience at the place I used to work at, right? And that helped me a lot because I was eventually prepared for any and all questions that that could be thrown, questions that they could throw at me, the panel could throw at me. Also, having a deep understanding of what you are doing, why you are doing it is very important, because then you're not speechless when you're speaking to the panelists. And these gentlemen, these ladies are some of the most learned faculties in India, and they've been doing this for a while. So the entire idea, my entire interview preparation revolved around getting to know myself better, which I did in terms of noting down everything. For example, a question that I had expected was the fact that I have been a science student since 12th standard,
Right.
and I've been a decent student, right? But a question that I had expected was why the switch to hotel management and not pick up some uh, something which is normal, which is, for example, engineering, or for example, uh, some engineering or a part of engineering. And why make the switch to hotel management? So that was something that I was prepared for. But then also it was very spontaneous, because a lot of questions which I was rehearsing in my head over and over again, and I was sweating over them, were not asked.
Okay.
This was one of the most spontaneous interviews I had ever given. And for example, some of the questions that were asked to me were purely situation based. For example, relating to my industry, relating to the company culture I had. We also filled up a statement of purpose. So that was, I guess, that formed up a huge base of the questions that were being asked to us. But yeah, the entire idea is to, but again, like I said, going to, me noting down everything that I had done in my life and having an answer to why I have done it and what I was looking forward to. That made me confident enough to face any questions that was thrown in. There was just personality. There was just we filled up a statement of purpose and just a personality. So I was shortlisted for the HRM course at the XLRI, and then there were 4 questions that were asked to us, and then what you can do. They had a word limit of around 250 words to be precise. And what you have to do while you're writing a statement of purpose is be truthful. I would request everyone to not make stuff up. Please only write what you have done and what you can describe, no matter how much stress you're in, because that is bound to happen on the interview day. You are supposed to be stressful, and it's the only normal way.
Right.
But also, as long as you know that in the statement of purpose you have written what has happened with you, what you've experienced firsthand, I don't think it should be a problem when you are cross-questioning your statement.
Right.
The stuff I had done and I had discussed in interview during my work experience, I think that helped me with. I think a personal interview is the most important part of that selection.
Right.
I mean, as long as you're above the cutoff, it doesn't matter if you're, it really doesn't matter if you're 99 plus or if you're just 90 plus.
Right.
If your interview goes well, I think you'll make it.
Great. So finally, what are some tips that you'd like to give the future XAT aspirants about the exam as well as the interview preparation tips?
All right. So one thing that I could, in my humble capacity, tell the future aspirants is to make sure that you don't take any question personally in any of the aptitude exams, especially XAT. I mean, there will be questions on which you will get stuck on, but the right thing to do is move on and not just, let it play with your ego. That's the best thing while solving the paper. You solve whatever you can and then you revisit the question you're getting stuck on. In terms of interview, like I mentioned earlier as well, please know what you have done so far and why you are doing what you're doing, and be prepared for a lot of cross questions. And that's the only way to, I think, get through the interview part as well.
Right. Perfect. So thank you so much, Siddharth. Thanks a lot for sharing your valuable insights with us.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope this helps some people who are in the shoes that I was. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And all the best for your journey to XLRI.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.